Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan, and it's my platform where I do MMA and boxing related content. If you're new to my platform, why don't you help me grow it? All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, then hit the like button and maybe hit that bell icon so you know whenever I upload a video and you're the first to come here and comment and get involved in the conversation with me. With that said, for this video I'm going to be breaking down the upcoming heavyweight main event between Curtis Blaydes and Junior Dos Santos, which would really kick off the heavyweight division in 2020 with a bang. These are two keen heavyweight prospects that are not far off the title picture, and with everything going on in the heavyweight title picture, they might just be a win or two away for fighting for the belt. Firstly, you got Junior Dos Santos, who's actually coming off a loss to Francis Ngannou in his last fight. Junior Dos Santos, the former heavyweight champion, is a long-time veteran in the heavyweight division. He's a known commodity. He's fought for the belt multiple times after losing it, and he's headlined multiple events for the UFC with some success. Now, he's coming off a loss to Francis Ngannou, but prior to that, he had put together a nice 3-fight win streak, and Junior Dos Santos has shown in his performances and his evolving game that he's very much not yet washed up and he's still got plenty of fight left. At 35 years old, he's a heavyweight that's still got some room to grow, and let's face it, heavyweights have a longer shelf life, so he'll be alright. He fights Curtis Blaydes, who's on a 2-fight win streak since he lost to Francis Ngannou himself. That actually made it 0-2 against Francis, which put him in a tough spot. But he's rebounded well with 2 straight wins, and he's looked good. He's looked like a contender prior to the Francis Ngannou loss, and he's looked like a contender after the Francis Ngannou loss. So I'm not writing him off just yet, just because he's got 2 losses to Francis Ngannou. I know normally losing to one fighter twice, particularly in this situation where that fighter's in the title picture of your division, is almost a death sentence, but I'm not writing him off just yet. And with that said, let's get to the tail of the tape. So Curtis Blaydes is 28 years old. That makes him 7 years younger than the 35-year-old Junior Dos Santos. That's an interesting statistic because although yes, heavyweights do have a longer shelf life, there's no secret as to who's more so in their prime, and that would be Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes is younger, has more room to grow, he's fresher, he's taking less damage, his body's still going to be reacting faster, and he's going to have those natural reflexes of a younger man. Junior Dos Santos does generally not look like he's slowed down too much. He's not the Junior Dos Santos that he was in, say, 2008, 2009, of course, but he's not an old man fighter just yet. But still, 7 years of age difference when one man's 28 years old, that's something for us to think about and something that we got to watch. Curtis Blaydes comes into this fight with a professional mixed martial arts record of 12 wins and 2 losses with 1 no contest. That means he's had 15 professional mixed martial arts fights. It means he's relatively fresh, but bear in mind he signed with the UFC when he was only 5-0. He's had tons of UFC experience. He's had about 10 professional fights in the UFC, and he's really done pretty damn well, actually, if you think about it. Aside from Francis Ngannou, he's undefeated, which is a funny way to put it. But he's gotten some really good wins, and we're going to talk about that. But he's actually got a lot of high-level experience. He's main evented, and he shouldn't be shy under the spotlights. And when he fights Junior Dos Santos, who's vastly more experienced, with a mixed martial arts record of 21 wins and 6 losses. Now, although Junior Dos Santos is vastly more experienced, I would say that experience shouldn't play a factor in this, although if both men get hurt and it turns into a back and forth slugfest, well, JDS has been in more of those, so that could be something for us to consider. Curtis Blaydes and Junior Dos Santos both stand at 6'4", where the difference in size comes in this one is that Curtis Blaydes has an 80-inch reach, which gives him a 3-inch reach advantage over Junior Dos Santos. Now, is he able to utilize that is an interesting question, because I would say JDS is a much better striker than Curtis Blaydes, but the fight is still to happen, so let's see how it plays out. Curtis Blaydes' fighting style. Well, Curtis Blaydes has evolved and he's become much more well-rounded over the years, but where he really shines is his grappling. I believe he's a really good wrestler. He's got really good top-heavy control. He can hurt people a lot from the top of the game, and he's got really good conditioning as well. For JDS, it's no secret what his style is. He likes to throw hands. He's a great boxer. Now, we've seen him get some head kick KOs over Mark Hunt. We've seen him get takedowns over the likes of Shane Carwin once upon a time. We've seen that he has actually got a well-rounded game. But where JDS likes to fight is standing up, throwing the hands. That's what JDS enjoys doing. And so I'm going to categorize his style as a boxing-heavy style. I think that's fair to say. The key wins. So Curtis Blaydes, he enjoys wins over the likes of Alexei Oleinik, which is a really good win. He beat Mark Hunt. He took out Alistair Overeem. I was about to say Fabricio Werdum. He took out Alistair Overeem, which was a really good win. And more recently, he took out Jamil Abdul Rakimov, who's a heavyweight that I really respect and was actually on a win streak coming into that fight. JDS has one of the most lengthy and most impressive resumes that you're ever going to see in all of mixed martial arts, despite the division. He took out Fabricio Werdum to start off his UFC run. He followed that with wins over the likes of Mirko Cro Cop, Stefan Struve, Roy Nelson when he was coming up in the game. He then took out Shane Carwin to secure his title fight with Cain Velasquez, who was undefeated at the time. And despite ending the series 1 win and 2 losses, he has a win over Cain Velasquez, so you've got to count that. He's beaten Mark Hunt, as I mentioned before. He's beaten Stipe Miocic, back and forth war. And he's beaten the likes of, more recently, Derek Lewis, Taito Ivasa, who was undefeated at the time. So he's been there, he's been around. Blagoy Ivanov, he's beaten some really good fighters, and he's not a dude that we should be forgetting about, and he's a dude that we should actually recognize for everything that he's done in the game. The issues for Curtis Blaydes is going to be that he can be hittable. I feel like he shouldn't have gotten caught by Francis Ngannou in that early exchange in that last fight. He should have been a lot more cautious, and I hope that he's learned from that and he comes into this fight a lot more cautious, because as a young man with a long roof in the heavyweight division, God knows needs that. Sorry about that. The heavyweight division needs that. We're going to need to see that he has learned from those mistakes, and he is going to progress, and he is going to come forward, and he is going to do the right thing, and I really, really hope he does. For Junior Dos Santos, the issues to me are going to be pretty obvious. It's going to be stuff like his aging, wear and tear, amount of damage he's taken. Can he continue to fight the way he's been fighting? Can he take the damage that he used to fight? I don't think so. Just judging by that Francis Ngannou fight, I thought he was actually going to win that Francis Ngannou fight. Anyways, the X factor for Curtis Blaydes is going to be his youth, freshness, and his wrestling. And the X factor for Junior Dos Santos is definitely going to be his power on the feet. He is a knockout artist, one of the most severe knockout artists. When he first came up, he was absolutely devastating. He still has it. Now, let's get into the prediction of the fight. It's a very interesting fight. You've got young versus old, but it's a bit different because in the heavyweight, old isn't really that old. But then you've also got wrestler versus striker, but then you've got a guy who's got some Brazilian jiu-jitsu and wrestling skills, and a guy who's got some stand-up skills. On the feet, I think JDS wins. On the ground, I think Curtis Blaydes wins. How's the fight play out, though? I think Curtis Blaydes will be smart enough to be able to weather an early storm from JDS. JDS is going to be dangerous early, and actually, JDS remains dangerous throughout. I think Curtis Blaydes will be smart to employ a wrestling-heavy strategy in this fight, and I have a feeling that that's exactly what he's going to do. What that puts into my mind is the fights that JDS had against the likes of Cain Velasquez. Now, I'm not saying that Curtis Blaydes is Cain Velasquez, but I'm saying that Curtis Blaydes can employ a wrestling-heavy game plan just like Cain Velasquez did. That puts JDS in a tough spot. This is a 5-round fight. Now, JDS, I believe, is going to have a lot of success early, keeping him off him and hurting him with his hands. But as the fight wears on, we're going to be seeing Curtis Blaydes finally start to take down the older man and use his size, his strength, his wrestling, his athleticism, and his power to hurt JDS. In my opinion, we're going to see Curtis Blaydes employ a wrestling-heavy game plan, be able to get through to Junior Dos Santos, and finally be able to get that win. So for my official predictions, fight fans, I'm predicting Curtis Blaydes for the win to get the unanimous decision over JDS, or maybe even a late finish. Anyways, fight fans, why don't you guys comment below? Let me know what you thought about the breakdown, and let me know how you see this fight going. It's a fight that I'm really looking forward to, and I know it's not the biggest fight in the world, but still gives us something to be excited about. And thank you for watching, guys. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.